was able to do. Now, I don't know if we can do that as well for Kenyans, but it's just an idea. Something has to be done. As we fight it in courts, something has to be done. There are people who are going to be dying because of lack of treatment. Shukran sana. I land.
Okay, I see there are a lot of hands up. Ayabe, you had spoken earlier. Maybe you just remembered something. Then we go to Beatrice, and then Toria take over.
Oh yeah, mine was who was it? Ameongelea mambo ya public participation, and I know probably if you go they'll say they did public participation, but then me swali langu, and I think it's still the same. It's still tied to the same issues about court, the justice system, the court system, whereby things are done just to, for example, they'll say do public participation, and then they'll probably advertise it and say, oh, you're supposed to take your opinions to place A, B, C, D. But then who has ever really interrogated those, either those activities? Is there an audit that says, okay, yeah, when they said Toria is supposed to be MP, people came and actually endorsed at maybe 50% or 30%, depending on what the threshold is, and that is what that is the correct stand. Because most of the time you'll hear, oh yeah, we said you should do public participation, but the public said yes, or actually we are never even told really what the public said. You are just told there was public participation, and now we've implemented ABCD, but at no point have we ever really interrogated those systems or those activities that are called public participation to really ascertain if really they are giving us the true picture of what we really wanted as a public. I know not every one of us can do it, but at least some of us should be able to do it. And even if tumefanya hivyo, some of us have actually participated in those things, but mara mingi unapata even if you say no, at some point you find that whatever you had said no to went through, and I think they assume you'll just be told, as much as you said no, someone else say, the people who said yes were more than you, so yeah, that's how you're supposed to accept that. And but that's where my burning issue is. It burns me because I'm feeling we are not listened to. Even if we are told umefanya public participation, there's actually no real public participation that took place. They're just doing it for the optics, but in reality there's nothing that is considered from what you, or no opinion is considered, or none of our opinions are actually put into consideration when it comes to making those decisions.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayabe. Beatrice, then we go to Toria.
How are you? Thank you so much, Fabish and KOT. Thank you for this opportunity to interrogate this SHIF. One, I would like to say that we said Ruto on call on Ruto must go, said Ruto must go, but did not say when. Why have I started with that? That we were so quick to pick up a clarion call after we won the Finance Bill 2024 war, but we didn't get to ask ourselves really, is this the first finance bill that came our way? No. Actually, there has always been demos in Kenya and protests as big as this one, but not as big as this one, about the finance bill. Another problem is the fraternity here on X had previously been co-opted in political spaces, or that is where a majority of us influencers been operating from. So while the politics of the day are usually veiled on access to information, that is whoever you're working for, the information they share with you is the information that you'll share. We are here and we need to be honest with ourselves, because majority of the persons here are disappointed that what they expected from this wheelbarrow government is not what they have gotten, and that we need to save this ship before it actually finally sinks. The one fact that we need to have on our fingertips is that actually the old systems are crumbling down, and our economy as well is capsizing, and it's on the verge of its deathbed. The one thing, again, the other fact that we must know is that the system is the people, and the people push the system. So we cannot expect not to continue asking ourselves, or we cannot expect that we don't ask where power resides after rejecting Finance Bill 2024, and then quickly not fail to move and advance towards finding out where this power resides and going in further to remove the layers of the first phase that we won, to continue ahead and ask what is happening in Parliament. Who is this that is passing these written drafts about these bills? Are our public participation views listened to? Because if you take it back again to the week on June, there were two. It actually details emerged that there were two kinds of documents: a first draft document on the finance bill, and a second ideal document. That once this one was passed, the other one was supposed to be adopted and taken to the president. And both of them, we got information that they were actually drafted by the same office, that is the office of the president. So we are not asking, and we are not strategically now occupying the boardrooms. Why am I saying this? We have been hell bent and preoccupied on listening to the noise, the emotional noise that pushes and fuels our rage. But we are not going and occupying the boardroom. You see, Michuki, a distant grandfather of mine, said, we need to win these kinds of war, the street war, and so what is wrong with my generation, the Gen Ys or the millennials, and we, the zillennials today? Our problem is that we have been incapacitated. We did not get the right tools. And if we do, then we are not inviting the right teams in our organizing. We should have a to explain this, explain that now we have moved into this, out of this phase of reject has gone bigger, and we now need to be friendly to understanding how these institutions work, so that we can fight the structural oppression that is meeting us and interfering with what we started from the word go. Why am I saying this? You see, Morara brought out at a time when we were wondering which way do we go, because as Gen Zs and millennials, then we realized that we still actually plead and actually have a bargaining, leverage point in 2027. Morara has been oriented in those political circles. So it's easy for him to climb to the top with a clarion call that is quite clear, because he knows where the system bites, and he knows what failed and who is not being included in those systems that he previously was oriented to. So we should be enabling him to actually take route, take space and hold that political space. We should be enabling the likes of Akina Caswell to hold space elsewhere and be very deliberate and intentional about the kind of fight they are taking over. Because I'm wondering, where did the kinds of Moshiri Mike disappear to? Moshiri Mike really explained the finance bill so well, and he actually held space and opened up that space for vernacular translations in a way that we could resonate with this finance bill ground. But why is he not here anymore? He is not here because the clarion call is not clear. We are saying Ruto must go, but when? So today we are grappling with SHIF just 4 days after we did not even conclusively finish discussing the agriculture bill and the seeds bill. Before then, now they have made us now keep running like headless chicken, because we realize and acknowledge the power of taking power from parliament. So, but we didn't ask, where does power reside within, with whom does power reside in the judiciary? With whom does, how does Mwananchi take over that power? Because actually, going by Article 1 of the Constitution, the power is where there are still these many consultations on how these people get to impose these foreign interests in our systems of governance through taxes. Because we are in the age of public-private, whatever partnerships. So everything needs to be privatized. And know that. And they are setting up this president because they know very well that the president is not people-centric. So we should be asking, where does power reside? And if it resides, if in parliament, power resides with that clerk who is bringing, still disregarding our views from public participation, then why are we not going for that person? The other question is, once we have aired out our views, public participation should happen, duly and timely within a certain, particular time. Who is bringing these motions to the community? Is it the member of parliament? Then we are fighting a losing war, because if the member of parliament public participation discussion something, then he will come and drive that discussion in the way that he wants. So where does power reside? Is it time we start having a people's public participation officer? That discussion was out there somewhere. And then finally, where did the tech browser or the tech community disappear to? Why I'm asking that is because we know very well that the Office of Data Protection was came about between 2019 to about 2021, and came about because there has been a great concern on how data is actually being migrated from raw data to government, online services, and access to information and access to our data and how our data is stored and how it's translated was a big concern. So this movement from NHIF to SHIF, they have still not moved me. I still haven't gotten that text. It shows that they are moving something that is beyond just the servers. They are moving information. They are moving things, data, information beyond beyond just the infrastructure. They're shifting more than that, just the infrastructure, to taking it to SHIF, a new database or something. But have we consented to our information, which is our data, being moved there? No. That is a public inquest that we can do, or actually start a public interest litigation now with the help of our lawyers again, to go against this movement. And I think Okiya Mtata has always been steadfast and is already pursuing that. Why should we do that? Because, guys, we are not being deliberate. We're not being deliberate about teamwork. We're not being deliberate about what after phase 1. We are in phase 2, and phase 2 is about now occupying the boardroom as we occupy the streets. Why am I saying this? It's because, guys, the only way we defeat bureaucracies, and the system we are in right now is about bureaucracies. Everything works through bureaucracies. The only way that is proved competently civilization is protest. Protest is the only language that breaks bureaucracies. So we can't be here discussing about whether we give strength to Okiya Mtata. We should give strength to Okiya Mtata and at the same time still occupy the streets, because we have to win both wars. We can't afford to be courteous. We can't afford to be very courteous with people that are very deliberate about political power and making sure that it remains in their circle of influence, the Railas and Rutos of this world. We cannot be begging them for a right. So the right to protest is not something we discuss. It is the only right that says. So when did we lose this war? When did the rain start beating us? The rain started beating us when they forced you and us in the streets to believe that we do not have any power. The day we were told, guys, come back, stop going to State House, that was the day that they planted that belief that we do not have any power. And on that day was the day we yielded our power to these people. And on that day was the day they regrouped to do why? Because they must serve their foreign masters. But the power resides with us to actually drive them the way we want. So today is the International Day on Nonviolence. And I find it counterproductive that we are running round in circles, because we won one battle then on one bill, and we want to still capitalize and still mark time on this one battlefront, that is fighting the bill's way on it, and we're still not ready to occupy our rightful place as the people, and that is the streets. So I'd like to hand over this microphone. Before I do that, I've written a story. I've shared what happened during and after my abduction. And I try to say that, guys, we cannot continue begging to breathe within the constructs of our own country. There's something else that Ruto is trying to impose through GRT license, atupatia sisi digital workers license. How you're giving me license to be in my own country, to breathe the same air I breathe every day. License for what? To travel to Diani? For what? Tourism in Kenya is dead. And because it's dead, Ruto is trying every other single way to know which economic sector to hit. So what are we saying? We are saying that there is induced inflation. There is money that these people do not know where to take it because they have been hoarding it. And There are goods in the market and we do not have the purchasing power. So our economy could just collapse anytime because we are not buying things and there are no sales being made out there. So guys, it's bigger. When the health sector is falling, the economic sector is crumbling and is on its knees. So we don't need to debate about whether it's constitutional or not. It's unconstitutional. So it's a question about when are we occupying these streets? And it's not just Nairobi, at the same time occupying everywhere else in the country. And then again, guys, let's be deliberate about our access to information. If it's time that we go and look for people within those systems that will give us information that will work to our favor, it's time to do that because, again, some of your frontliners have been co-opted by the NIS. Chini ya maji tu mnafikiria tu tuko pamoja na mtu fulani, lakini hawa watu they are co-opted by. Why? Because it's about managing us. It's about managing us kuhakikisha kwamba we are not going to protected areas. We are not fully taking our power. Why? Because this binary thinking that it's either we lose or they win is why we are losing it. So guys, the power is with us and we've been made to think that we do not have it and we yielded it and gave it back to them because they planted that doubt and they know what they did because they know that we do not know where the power resides within the systems that we should also be occupying. So guys, let's be quite deliberate. Let's be deliberate. Let's not be blind at tunaenda kuoccupy two streets bila kukuwa na this function. You know those technical that fuel this. We need them. We need them. We need to occupy hizo systems huko ndani kabisa. So guys, if you're only going to fight the street way, I'm sorry, but they'll keep coming for us. So we have to keep on asking ourselves, where does power reside and how do we take it? We need to be intentional. Yeah, thank you guys. Nikisahau kitu nitasema Kenya nimesahau. Please just give me space for that. Nikisahau nitasema. There's something I feel nimesahau and it's very important, but allow me for now to pause right there. Thank you, Fabish.
Thank you, Beatrice. Anytime that you remember something, just don't hesitate to come and inject. So I think now I see my co-host, another co-host is here. Toria, please give your submission and then proceed to other speakers.
Thank you so much, Fabish and KOT. I don't know if I'm audible. If you can hear me, give 100. Okay, thank you. A lot has been said by Beatrice and I really support what she has said. I don't know why we've been shifted from SHA from NHIF to SHA, whatever, this thing. And the government is trying to play some games with us to lose our focus. And let me tell you one thing, there are people who survive by NHIF because we have some diseases which need checkup, need what on weekly, and they are very expensive. These people are going through a lot. I don't know how these people are going to survive without this NHIF. And the so-called this government, I don't understand why they changed from NHIF to SHA, yet they have not clarified the money which has been lost from NHIF. They are here telling us the SHA, whatever, is here and having a date of, can you imagine SHA is starting with a date of, I don't know, it's 30 million or 30 billion. For Christ's sake, we'll be surviving on debts on daily basis. They are not working on it. First of all, what that thing they are calling us to register on SHA, the EPR, that is an open platform. Your data are exposed for hey. They have even transferred us without our consent. We don't know. You just receiving a message. They are the one going ahead to give you a pin. Like this crazy, man. This crazy. We should not tolerate this. If we are going to tolerate this, then it means we give them even the audacity of, like, they are pushing everything beyond our like, we can't withstand it. If we're gonna accept this, then just be ready to be exported to Germany without even your consultation. Utakuja tu uchukuliwe upelekwe. That's what they are telling us. Now they are forcing everything to us. Hatuna say, public participation died a long time ago in this country. If we cannot even have democracy, where do you expect to require public participation for. I think we should go to the streets, do every way, every means to stop them. Enough is enough. And Ruto is the major problem, because if it was declared unconstitutional, but to him, yeah, it's unconstitutional, but he doesn't follow the constitution. So why the fuck are you telling him that it's unconstitutional? He doesn't care. He's looking for every means to loot. And mind you, this SHA, whatever thing is registered by the Indians, the same people who are being sold our airport, the same people who are in Ketrak. Like, are we going to allow colonizers to come back in our country to even control our hair, to breathe? Hatuna hiyo pesa. Me, honestly, I'm really mad. Like, I'm mad. They are wanna focus na vitu zenye wanna implement, forcing things. Kesho inaanza kuwa functional, na kuna watu wana celebrate, na kuna watu huku nje wanaumia. Hey, this is not how a democratic country runs. It is not how it runs. Me, I really support what Beatrice you've said. Let's support. They could have, by the way, wakuja break down iyo SHA, shisho, whatever. We need to hear everything in particular, kila part. And to be honest, hakuna benefit iko hapo. It's only them, they want to loot money through that. Mind you, hata hii story ya digital ID, utapata umekuwa inserted bila kujua. Trust me, venye vitu zinaenda hii Kenya. Sometimes I really hate Kenya, but I remember it's my motherland, and east or west, home is always the best. So I keep on fighting. How long are we going to watch people suffer? Niambie watu wa cancer sahi wanatumianga NHIF kusupport nini hizo chemotherapy nini. Tell me mtu kama huyo atafanya nini sahi NHIF ifanyi? Hiyo pesa tulikuwa tumeinvest kwa NHIF imeenda wapi? Like, oh no, enough is enough. Me, I'm tired of this country and this Ruto. Please, Josephine, go ahead. I'll just...
Thank you, Toria, Keyoti, Fabian, and the fellow countrymen and women of Kenya. It's very sad even today. I think, first and foremost, I've just received that message at around 3 o'clock when I was at work, and I was like, how would my data be even moved without my consent, without me giving information? And kwa nini tunanyweshwa hii kitu kama sumbiri? Why, honestly? Fellow countrymen and women, can we stand up for ourselves? Can we go out there and destroy the offices? Can we go out there and deal with that woman in the Afia house who is pushing this thing onto our throat by force? Can we go out there and stop these things? Because this is our money, the work of our hands. Now we are being tortured with our own sweat, honestly. I think the only punishment I accept is one, which God gave us, that we shall eat out of our sweat. And that's what we are doing. Anything else from Ruto, I think this is too much, fellow Kenyans. It's too much, fellow Kenyans. And it's a high time we don't even wait for Okiya Omtata to go to court. We have so many people who can assist us. Because all of us, as long as you have received that message, we can come together, contribute, and even file a case in court to say we don't want our data to be transferred. And NHIF to tell us how did they transfer our data to another entity without our consent. How? Because this is very unfair, guys. And we are not going to sit here and continue watching. A time has come. Personally, I feel so bad. I feel like if I would just fly and get a miracle where I just get to the State House and get Ruto and strangle him and throw him out through the window from the State House. Because it's very painful for Kenyans. We cannot take this anymore. We can't take this anymore. Guys, kama kuna watu wako hapa kwa DCIA, unajua nini? Guys, we are planning to go out there, and we have to go out there. Let's call upon all the unions, leaders, now to step out, all of us, and we go all of us as a country, and they say we do not need this, and now Ruto, we have enough of you, you have to leave our country, and leave us alone. It's us to go, but once we keep quiet, and we continue talking in the space, we may not make much difference. Because it's like you can talk after talking, I'll still continue. Mutameza kama subiri. Guys, time is over. Time is over, and you need to know that actually, Toria, you are saying you need these guys to come and elaborate to you. I can tell you on Friday we had a space with them, and they are so notorious and so rude. They were like, even if you don't listen, we are going to transfer you. It's you to hear what we are saying, but we are not going to listen to you. Because I tried even to engage them. Like, there's some gentleman there by the name Kamau, who is so rude. Anakwambia, mutatii kile tunasema si kile munataka. Imagine. Now, are those the people we are going to entrust with our money? Are these the people we are believing that they can take care of our health? These are the people who will actually kill us. These are people who can even do anything to us. These are murderers. Fellow Kenyans, can we wake up? These are murderers, and they don't care how much we are suffering. And the funny thing is that they need to wake up and know that COVID should come again at a different form, in a different shape, so that we see whether they run to the international countries to be treated. So that, and they start dying in the countries we watch. We don't want to pray about prayer against people, but it's very painful, guys. Can we stand up for our country? Can we stand up for ourselves? Not actually, this is not our country now. Can you stand up for yourself? Can you get out there and say, now I cannot watch as I pay my money and I cannot access services? I cannot see losing my money and my family cannot access services? Can we stand up for that? Even if there's nothing else we can stand up for, now stand up for yourself so that you get your medical cover that you deserve. Actually, very few amendments were needed in NHIF. Not all the things, everything in the NHIF was good. And even a small child, you would tell them about NHIF and they understand. Even when you send them from school, and hospital you say ya kwamba kuna NHIF, upeane namba ya dadi, utatibiwa. Upeane namba ya mami, utatibiwa. Right now, what is this? We are being taught now, we are being shifted to, why should we invest on a new structure while we had proper existing structures which have served this country for so many years, and yet we still remain here and we are waiting for Ruto to do what he wants to do? Does it mean that Ruto is the only educated guy in this country? Is he the only critical thinker in this country who can think on behalf of 50 million Kenyans? Does it mean we are too stupid, guys? We are not, and we need to get furious against this thing. And we go out there, and even we clear the parliament because we are tired with the parliament. They are useless people. You see people out there talking, and you are asking yourself, how did they even get to the parliament? You are wondering. Guys, we need to stand up and go out there, fight for yourselves. Let's call upon our all union leaders, the big influencers in the social media. Can you reach out to the KMPDU, reach out to clinical officers in SG, reach out to any SG of the union in the country, so that we organize tomorrow, we all walk out and go to walk to the NSSF offices, NHIF offices. Let them tell us how did they transfer our data to other bodies without our consent. And at the same time, we have to go out there during that year office so that they know we are serious and we don't want this. But if we keep quiet, guys, we are going to be oppressed, and eventually mtu atakuwa atakufutia miguu. You will be the poorest people in this country, and these people will take advantage of that, and they will rule us, and their children will come and rule us, and their children will come and rule our children and our children. Can we stand up for what we know now? And can you stand up, even if not for anything else, stand up for yourself, for your medical? Know that your medical is very key. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry for being very furious. Anyone who feels that I've just heard them, I really want to apologize, but I am not apologetic to anything that I've said. I've said once and again, whoever thinks that they need to arrest me, let them come and arrest me. I better die in prison fighting for my rights rather than remaining free and serving this country as I watch. Thank you so much, guys, and may God bless us. Let's stand up and move out for ourselves. Let's move out there. Let's meet all the union leaders. Let's join hands together as a nation, and we go out there and tell these people no. And we are how to say we do not take this any longer. Thank you so much, and may God bless us.
Thank you so much, Josephine. And that anger, you don't have to be apologetic to anyone. It's your right. You're the one who is being oppressed. You're the one who is going through this. You're the one who is your payslip is going to be deducted. Your privacy, your data has been shared. You know, that app is actually not secure at all. Not secure. Let me ask you, if our data is being shared like this, are we secure anywhere? It means that hata ukifanyeko nini utatresiwa tu direct nini. Like, I'm so mad. I'm literally mad. Let me tell you this. They have what about, I was thinking, if they, where didn't they do typing error? They lose the names from NHIF and they get lost on the way while transferring to the SHA thing. But when typing 360 million is able to get lost, hivyo tu na inapotea. Nobody is talking about that. Like, this country, we don't have a say anymore. Our voices, they don't matter. So we need to go to the streets. This is the only language they understand. I think even if it means to burn down the parliament now, we gotta do it. Enough is enough. This parliament is the one which these punitive bills and bullshit they are introduced and passed. They don't think about people outside, if they are oppressed, if they can withstand, if they can do or they can't. They're just thinking about the benefits they're gonna acquire from these things they are passing. For Christ's sake, mtu hata wa ushago hata ajui shasho shini nini. Let me ask you this. You don't have you've been transferred, ulikuwa na NHIF card ndo ulikuwa unatumia. So what about na NHIF number? What about shisho whatever? Utapewa kadi ingine? No. Kuna like no. And they have the audacity. I've just seen like ati walifanya nini? Ati CS of sports spend 1 billion to hire UON consultants. Yani 1 billion. Wanatuwekea madeni kila kona, left right center, sijui wapi. Next tunaintroduciwa bili ya kupumua. Wase tutakuwa tunalipa hewa, tunalipia tax. Pali imeenda sasa, because honestly our opinions, they don't matter. And even if they want us to do a public participation, nothing, carry it on please.
Hi everyone. First of all, I want to salute our comrades that we've lost on the way. I want to salute the ones that are injured, and I want to salute every Kenyan. Being a Kenyan is so difficult lately because we're no longer under democracy. This is a tyranny. I've listened to Josephine, whom I once shared a space with, I think it was a Christian space. And the Josephine then and the Josephine now is two different people. But Josephine, it's not your fault. The night Morara was arrested, I was here backing at people. In fact, yesterday I co-hosted with KOT, but I could not even speak because I was still angry from that day. Now, I want you guys to understand. First, I'll respond to something a lady said, but first I want you to understand that you've not been migrated from from NHIF to SHIF. They have just replaced the name NHIF with this chief shafts what. And this, I need you to look at it from a broader perspective. The interest here is the money that was already in NHIF and the resources under NHIF. Remember that building for NHIF is owned by NHIF. So when you bring in a new platform, do you transfer the resources to that platform? So the theft that is going on in the country is at an astronomical scale. It's not even about replacing cards, because that can be a lot easier and cheaper. What I've learned since this movement started is when you see an issue, don't start addressing it where you are. Take steps back. You will find where the rot is. And today, when I was digging up the issue of, not today, when this issue of shift started, I started digging backwards. And there's this time, Oscar Sudi had been arrested, and he turned up in a law court in Nakuru in a white Range Rover. The charges at that point was about NHIF money. Turned out one of his wife worked there, and he would get funds transferred from NHIF to a legal firm, and this money used to be purported to support people who are going for treatment abroad to India. So by the time these guys are doing these shenanigans of transferring NHIF to SHIF, it tells you the money that existed in NHIF, we have lost it in totality. David D said that they're going to leave this government, this country as corrupt as they found it. The SHIF, Senator Onyonka, I believe, showed CR12 that indicate that the owner, the SHIF is registered under Mwenda who is David's D wife. So it's no longer a national asset. It is in hands of private people. Another thing on this SHIF thing, why are they messing up with the healthcare system of a country, which is part of the basic needs? Government is going down. Initially, when I look backward, and I'm very frustrated because it's so difficult being Kenyan every minute. Initially, if something change had come, we would not be united. People would be looking backwards like, oh, maybe if we gave him a chance, he would have. These people are destroying the nation at an alarming speed that there is nobody who will ever wish that they came back. So as I look at this, and I keep saying it's a spiritual battle, I know this government is going down. I know they can abuse the constitution, they can abuse the law, but they can never bribe God. So whatever happens, I don't know in how long, but this government will go down without a doubt. You cannot walk on the graves of people, on people's blood, and destroy literally everything you ever found working. They explained that the reason why they had to move from NHIF is because the system was an issue, which I greatly disagree. If the system was the issue, they said they needed 104 billion to invest in that system to transfer people data to this particular new platform. But 104 billion would be a very good hospital with all the facilities that we require and fully furnished. So there's no interest of a common mananchi if a system, a useless system, yet we have Kenyans who are IT gurus, who are doing very well, even back at home and in the diaspora. If they're going to splash that kind of money on a system, it's also this government doesn't have their priority right. And it's not that they don't. Their agenda is one, to destroy the nation. But the good thing is they are cutting the tree they are on. Because when it falls, their fall will be so loud, there'll be nobody to sympathize with them. There's going to be absolutely no one to sympathize with them. Because the chaos in the education sector, health sector, the farming, there's nothing that is spared. Now, I had highlighted the other day that we need a structure, and the kind of structure we need to know which platform are going to run, whether it's with agriculture and livestock, healthcare, education, different things that these people are messing up with, so that Kenyans stop feeling overwhelmed by the information they're receiving. If someone is passionate about agriculture and want to explain it to a farmer, they can align themselves with that side. And then once in a while, we can combine the spaces and have much, much bigger spaces so that we can share. We can have maybe the legal department educate us on the petitions in court, the agriculture guys educate us on what this punitive bills they are trying to pass mean, and that apply to every other side, because I feel like this country is heading to a collapse, and they don't care. They really don't care, because their mode operandi is, we're going to be threatened, a few lives will be lost, and that's why I don't fully advocate on what the lady who was saying. When it comes to where we need to go, we need to understand, like, all these things that are being messed up to our advantage. We understand and figure out how to streamline them, so that in future we don't end up blaming the new young people we are going to have in government for not delivering. So let us be very focused on structuring a direction, because, like John said, initially I didn't believe, but like John said, we are very close to getting our country back, even if it doesn't look like that. I think we are very, very close. When you look at how determined they are, painful. Like I was telling people, the night they arrested Morara, a lot of people didn't sleep. Grandparents were on their knees praying for this young man. So the destruction that is heading, they think they're destroying us, but they're actually destroying themselves, and it will go back with interest. I am so tired of these people, and I know change is coming. However, let's be cautious. When someone says, "Oh, the only way that we should go to the street," let's go to the street when we want to pass a severe message. There are so many other things. We need to get a grasp of the ground, so that the people on the ground, we know we have foot soldiers, people who can consolidate votes, but no matter how much money is poured, these people have no chance. So let's look at door-to-door civic education. Everybody should educate one person. And then, fellow Kenyans, let me warn you, and I'm glad that Fabish is here. Do not trust everyone. I've been listening to people in spaces, and some people honestly are snakes, green snake in green grass. They will persuade you in a direction we should not be heading. They will manipulate you to believe in them, but they are as fake as they get. Some of us are not flying blind. We are not flying blind. So be cautious and listen in with interest. Not everyone who comes and say a few things here and there. First of all, I even listened to KAOT, and you can tell a young person, and so many of us who we were not freedom fighters, so we don't know. Nobody should come and guilt trip us. Oh, we don't know. Yes, we don't know, but what we know is that we want our country back. And that is enough, because it is in that determination that we try to learn and figure out how to get things done. So nobody should come and tell us, "Oh, you young people, you them who are older, what did they do? They left us a country that is hurting people." So nobody should come and guilt trip us here. Nobody should come and lie to people. If you want to be a snake, find a different place. As the reason why we are committed, the reason why we are still here is because people died. Someone buried a child. Someone is amputated. And so many people are suffering. Look at what they did with the funding, university funding. So we need and walk with our ears on the ground and with our eyes wide open. And I'm glad now that they cannot come to the platform when I'm here, because it's very hard to trigger me. But the minute you do it, there's no turning back. However, that is not the focus. Number two, I think there's a journalist who was explaining something, and I think she was taking an undercut on her. Journalists are the least. So when she said that people should not go to protected areas, there was a reason for that. She still went to codes of ethics as far that is concerned. So we shouldn't come to rip her apart. She has done such great work. So let us focus on where we fail, and we will fail so many times, but we are failing forward. We are never going back. So in whatever we do, let's look into teaching each other, standing together. Don't look at what I'm doing wrong. Look at how can you help me? How can you hold me up? The same way, a picture, KOT is a student, has classes to go to, is on the street, is everywhere. And it's one person. Can everyone talk to your relatives and teach them something? Talk to your friends, your neighbor, talk to strangers. We are no longer strangers anymore. So that is where we need to focus on. This shifting, I need you to understand that nothing was We have not been migrated. They just introduced a new name. They just rebranded the way that they rebrand parties. But the interest here is that there was so much money in NHIF, and that is what we need to uncover. Put the CR12. We need a team of lawyers, and thank you, lawyers. You've really been of help to the movement. We need teams of lawyers to really go to court and say, why is a private entity operating such a critical aspect of healthcare? And number two, why is it that they're not obeying public participation? We have seen, I've been looking at those things, they even call public participation, including schools are changing hands. Instead of making education free in Kenya, they are taking public schools and turning them into private sector. So these guys are turning Kenya into a private entity. This is our country. It doesn't matter where you go. Kenya is home. So that said, we need now to restructure, figure out which direction to go so that we don't lose on agriculture or anything else. And I'm so sorry, everyone who's hurting, because I've realized this thing is getting very personal every single day. So let's support each other. Let's support KOT. It bugs me when we come here and I can't see your number up there. We need to support KOT. Like I said, he's a student trying to run the space. I tried to run a space and it's so emotionally draining. So be kind and generous. Open your pockets and use kind words. And we're not here to bash each other. We're here to save our nation. I thank you and I yield the mic.
Thank you so much, Nadine. And guys, unity is where I keep saying unity, togetherness is the one which can help us pass this information, know the direction we are heading, numbers. So I've just checked down here, only 17 people, and we are 156 people in the space. Only 17 people have.
I think we lost Toria. Maybe it's a network issue. I think what she was trying to say is that. Okay, welcome, Rudy.
Only 17 people have reposted the space. Please kindly do me a favor, repost the space. If we can do the same way we did with the day we sang Free Morara, those numbers are the ones which help us work out. We had unity, all of us together in one house. So please repost the space, let people join. Today we are talking about SHIF. We need unity. We need to hear everyone's voice. So kindly repost the space. It will cost you nothing. Back to you, Fabish. I think ni Kahudu, go ahead.
Yes, it's Jackson, but I've changed the name. Mnanisikia?
Yeah, tunakusikia, go ahead.
Okay, in my perspective nitatumia Kiswahili. Je, tumejaribu kufikiria ni pesa ngapi wanachukua monthly hizo za NHIF, na pia nataka kuinclude hizo za NSSF. This is a lot of money. Now, kusema wanabadilisha hii kitu, with me I think this is a big scam. Hizo pesa zote zimeenda wapi ndio tufikie hapo kwa kubadilishwa na ianze mipango mingine? I think this is a way of looting our money. Nafikiri hawa jamaa wanachukua hizo pesa wakaeke kule wanapeleka, and then we are left hapa tukiwa maskini, tukufe, magonjwa, everything. Na I tend to think kuna mambo mengine ambayo yanafinya, but it seems hatufinywi kwa sababu kuna mambo ya health, kuna mambo ya elimu, kuna mambo ya kipato, everything. Na hawa watu wanatushift mindset kila wakati, wanatupeleka sijui impeachment nini. I think it's the right time now tuwe kila pahali kama mwenzangu alivyosema, going to the streets everywhere, kwa sababu kuna dhulma kama that the issue in Mombasa na vitu kama hizo. So kama kila mtu anasikia hiyo kufinywa, then I think it's the right time tuende barabarani, and for the kama hiyo ya Omkio Mtata vile anachukua hatua, naona ingekuwa vizuri pia wengine wangechukua hatua mahali kwengine, manake hata kama hiyo mahakama naona haifanyi kazi vizuri, hiyo mahakama pia haifanyi kazi vizuri. Saa hii wamebadilishwa, wanaangalia mambo ya impeachment, so wamebadilika, yani they want to take us where they want to, na si vizuri. Wanataka kubadilisha hisia zetu tuangalie hayo mambo, na hayo mambo hayatuhusu. In fact, mi nimebadilika kabisa, sitaki kuangalia hizo news kwa sababu this is nonsense they are doing to us. So mimi nataka tu tufikirie how much money has been wasted. Hiyo collection ya kila mwezi ya NHIF, hizo pesa zinaenda wapi? Because it's a lot of money. Na kama wanabadilisha and they tell us that there was kulikuwa kuna sijui deni, na every day they collect money. Sasa kama kila siku wanachukua pesa wanakata wale ambao ni wa mishahara, na kuna wale ambao wanalipa kibinafsi, this is a lot of money. Hiyo mambo ya NSSF, I think it's a big scam also. Kwa hivyo I tend to think wananchi bado hawajakasirika. Hiyo civil education iwe inafanyika, because there is this channel hii ya WhatsApp hii, tumeni habari, because with me I can't do it, lakini for those who can do it, tumeni hizo habari. If there is any information, you just send it and I will take part in the public participation. Hiyo ndio niko nayo. Asante.
Thank you so much. Naona there is a lady that has posted kwa comment section. I don't know how true is that information, that Wakili Okiya Mtata has been denied a court order to stop the SHIF. There is a lady called Modern. I don't know whether that information is authentic. Could you kindly please come to the speaker and share with us? Yeah. Then Victoria alikuwa anasema let's share the space so that we can have as many Kenyans joining in, so that we can be able to dwell on this issue wakati tukitafuta solution. So please, everyone on the speakers, wale ambao mko listeners, even those anonymous, please share the space. I think naona Xavier, you are raising your hand. Xavier.
Sorry. Thank you, Fabish. Yote yamesemwa na Toria, yamesemwa na Nothing KE. Everything I wanted to say has been said. I had been here before, and I agree with those ladies 100%. We need to go to the street. No other solution. Thank you. I'm off to the farm.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I'll be listening. I'll be listening.
Okay. Daughter of the mountain.
Here I am. It's not Mount, and it's not the Murima we are talking about.
Oh, it's not the Murima.
No, I don't conform to that nonsense. I'm just a lady from Mount Kenya, born and bred.
Very good. Daughter of the soil. Okay,
Okay,
carry on.
Allow me to just mention a few points, yeah? The other day, context is, I think the government already knows just how much information is being sold or solicited from Twitter. Yes. So I think the best thing we can do now is I saw a lot of uproar on TikTok when Morana was arrested, and I think this government in check is not to be predictable, because the moment we are predictable, we give them a space to counter us. Even as we speak right now, I know and we all know that there are government bloggers and government agents who have been sent to infiltrate this meeting, get to know what people are saying. So even as we talk about SHA and how to counter it, it's important to note that before we counter anything, there are people here who have been, agents, Kamati Rombaya, they have been sent to counter whatever effort we try to do. So, like my other speakers have mentioned, first and most important thing is to disseminate information on what exactly the government is trying to do with this in the villages and in the informal areas where people might not necessarily have the luxury of information like we do, especially when we are in the metropolitan areas. And so when you tell someone, and these are people who have been paying NHIF and they have not been getting services, because we know they have not been getting services. If you've been paying NHIF for your parents or your dependents, you know that if you go to a government hospital, the only thing that card used to pay is consultation. When it comes to labs, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to tests, NHIF, it was always you're not covered. If it's inpatient, they would only tell you you are covered only for the bed. Now, when you look at this, what they are calling bans, in terms of NHIF, what they've done is they have moved it from being NHIF is paying these services and then you pay the others to NHIF with, this SHA thing will pay what they want. Basically, they have told us we don't care whether you can afford to pay or not. We will pay what we feel you deserve. So they are not even giving you the freedom of, if it's government hospitals, everybody has one. We are on the same band to pay. This time round, they are categorizing us so that if I'm employed and I'm paying 2.75%, I have a private employer. This private employer will most likely give me a private medical cover. So there is a way they are able to integrate the two. And so the most likely thing, especially for people who have employment, is they will always end up in private hospitals because of this employer's card. It has better terms, So now what happens moving forward is that if you go with this private insurance to a private hospital, you are most likely not going to receive all the services you'll be sent at government level, and vice versa. So that whatever you've been experiencing with SHIF will now be 2 times worse. Now you can imagine for patients who are undergoing chemotherapy, especially, you are being told that if you are going to KU, for instance, or Kenyatta for your chemotherapy, or even Kijabe for your chemotherapy with NHIF, and they were paying the full amount for maybe 6-7 sessions, now they'll be like, we will pay all the sessions, but per session, we will pay this percentage and you will top up the other percentage. So it looks like you're benefiting, but in real sense, the government is benefiting more. So how they have categorized this thing is, the assumption is out of maybe say those who are getting 2.75% cut from the specialist, out of every 100,000 Kenyans, out of the 100,000 Kenyans who are being deducted, maybe 10 will get sick on average and go to a government hospital. So what happens to the other 990,000? The other 90,000, those funds, those ones are being bundled up together. And when they are bundled up together and there is no accountability being asked from the government, then that money goes into people's pockets. Because I remember they mentioned, and they were very clear when someone asked what happens because if someone does not register to SHA and I'm already an NHIF. And they responded and they said nobody will be registered without their consent to SHA, even if you're in NHIF. But I think today, almost the whole country, everybody has, if you have ever registered for NHIF, whether or not you are paying, everybody has been migrated. So the only way to fight them is to join them. Actually, if you can't, and this is what I mean, that they're trying to tell the villagers that dial *147#, then continue with that. But our responsibility is to tell these people, before you dial that and register yourself, ask questions. Ask that chief questions. If you know very well that you transact they have a way to track. If you know very well that you transact via M-Pesa or there's a way they will be deducting money, because we will soon find out, then limit those cards. So if they think that they're going to get this money by force or by under duress because you've already been shifted, then we give them a surprise of their time. And because they're using Safaricom as the provider of the system, which again is another source of bullshit, because if the country does not have money, and that is the biggest problem you're facing, if the country, they are saying they don't have enough money for services and for health, and that's why we are moving to SHA, why are they getting 108 billion for a new system? If already the NHIF system was working, it just needs to be corrected. Why are they getting 108 billion to restructure a new system? So this is what we call budgeted corruption. And that is exactly what has been going on. And this is the reason why they have given us, is it 27 things that they are looking to table in parliament as in the new referendum, that we are woke. They know we are woke. So the only way to keep us in check is to keep us distracted, left, right, and center. And I like the previous speaker who has said that we need to be targeted and be specific, and say this group of people, they'll deal with agriculture. There is a certain group of people that watajitolea, they deal with health. The others, they deal with infrastructure. The others, they deal with public service, education, water and sanitation. Like, if we have very targeted way of attacking these people and not looking up to one person to, oh, you have not tabled a bill, you have not gone to court, it doesn't even take much. If what walichangia Morara over 1 million to get his money, get his car, I think we can contribute enough to table these bills, to take these matters to court, to the High Court of Kenya. Because if they have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, they cannot reject all of them. Omtata's petition maybe has been rejected. If we have 3, 4, 5 more people tabling the same to the High Court, hawezi reject zote. If the High Court does not go to Supreme go to your local court. Like, they cannot deny all of them. There will be need. So if only we can get people who say, yes, I am willing to take this war and I'm willing to go all the way. Kenyans are of goodwill. And one thing I've noted from Kenyans is, as long as you're genuine with a good cause, people will actually give you support financially, resources, prayers, that push, you're doing okay. And that's all we need. There is someone, by the way, they probably don't even need that money. They probably even have a law firm. They just need that oomph to be told, no, we are behind you. Petition this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 Kenyans will join us there as the people who are petitioning with you against the government. So if we go in that direction, then we'll be fighting them in their own game. Other than every time tunakuja na kifua, they will always outnumber and outpower us, and especially outpowering us, because they have the weapons. They have the weapons, and they have the machinery, and they have the resources. And that's why even if you go, you see people we keep wondering how they keep abducting people who go to maandamano, but they have a way to triangulate and get us and get those, if it's phone numbers, wanapata zile simu zilikuwa kwa hiyo area, or people who are walikuwa naandamana, and they track you to that phone to where you are. Kenya has those systems, so the only way to fight them is through their own game. And at the end of the day, like Rongiri has said, they don't care. They have killed before. They don't care if they will kill. But then at the end of the day, no freedom was bought without going to war. And it's like they are trying us. They are tabling. Kimani Ichung'wah was saying that they need to table another bill whereby every time they are passing a bill or they are discussing issues in regards to whatever it is they want, they need the parliament surrounded by security. What does that tell you? They already bought the fear. Roles are reversing if you think about it. Now, we are no longer the ones in fear. They are the ones who are in fear because now they want to be protected, because they think, us with our water bottle phone and a flag, we are a threat to them when they are passing a bill to impeach Gachagua, when they are passing a motion to extend their term of life, and they have not even done anything in their constituencies, So it's imperative that we understand we are the ones who have that power. And every time they will keep selling us that fear, because they know at the end of the day, we cannot fight back with the same magnitude they will fight us with. So the moment we understand that and we know where to hit, it would be very easy. This is the fourth time Ibrahim Traore assassination has been attempted. It was just last week that the fourth time his assassination has been attempted. That tells you that he's doing something right. He's doing something right. And whether they in our country they impeach Gachagua or Ruto or wherever, or even themselves, they will not stop this greed. And this unfathomable greed of wanting to take everything, whereas they have the time. And that's why they're extending the timeline, because they know they will not come back. 98% of these members of parliament and women rep and governors, they know they are not coming back. Ask yourself, while we are in the middle of impeaching a deputy president, why are people impeaching a governor? MCs are impeaching a governor. Like, the distractions are so many that we don't know where to fight. And so we are all over. It's Mombasa, the case of Bruce. We are trying to fight for justice for him. Before even that happens, Morara is arrested. Before that happens, impeachment is ongoing. Before that happens, there is so many things that are happening at the same time. And it's not a coincidence that they're happening pamoja. Someone is pushing the agenda. Keep these people busy. When you keep these people busy, at the end of the day, they're like, nobody will listen to them anymore, because everybody is saying everything. So if we are having 10 hashtags that are go, we cannot be heard. But if we pull resources and decide, you know what, with Reject SHA, na tuamue we are rejecting SHA mpaka ikataliwe, it will happen. After that, tuamue we are going for the governor of Mombasa, impeach, or hold him to justice, because it's unbelievable that I'm almost concluding. It's unbelievable that you will never have a politician who has been tried and jailed for their crimes. It's always there is no evidence. And our Kenyan laws are very unfair, because you are innocent until proven guilty. You know someone is guilty. They know you are guilty. They know we know they are guilty, but they will always have resources to avert that. Nobody will ever see them guilty. So until we get into a system where people are held responsible, and people in power, because they will jail, like that controversy discussion, they will jail a 17-year-old boy for having, sex with that 17-year-old girl who gets pregnant. He's jailed for 30 years. But they will not touch a politician who shot someone live on camera. And the DJ is now paralyzed too late. And for some reason, we all forgot about that incident. And now Babu Owino is people's favorite character. He's the fighter of the people. But that neighbor of yours mwenye alishikwa ameiba baiskeli ya mtu amefungwa 15 years. Like, there is no justice for the poor. It is so sad. And it is not a unique situation in Kenya. It is something that has poisoned the entire continent in Africa. You are an activist, hivi kidogo kidogo, you have been arrested, you have been abducted, you have been tortured, they have tormented you. Joshua Okayo is still suffering and recovering from what they did to him. So you can imagine, once they know that they can sell that to us, then where do we stand? So I wish we can, and it's important people to align. If you know very well that you're good in a certain sector, like if you have a group of say doctors, and you guys can push the agenda of Stop SHA, join them. If you have a group of engineers and you can do something towards infrastructure, join them. If you are in hospitality and you can work in that space, let us join hands and fight this thing as a team. Because if I trend the hashtag, Reject SHA, and someone else is trending Ruto must go, the other one is trending justice for Bruce, the other one is trending, Kenya ni home, we will never have one voice. And of course, they win at the end of the day. So if we can have people join hands together, tuambiane tu ukweli, and inbox if you have to. Like, if I'm inboxing, like Fabish, if I'm inboxing you, nikwambia, where are you strong at? What information do you have, or what knowledge do you have that we can join together and pull people in that space, and then we can be able to fight that pamoja. It will be so easy to actually have targeted attack on this government. And by the time they realize it, it is so strong that they also running around trying to break up all these agendas without necessarily knowing where to break. Thank you, and I yield the mic.
Thank you so much. You have spoken a lot of points. Yes, even me have been, of that opinion that we need to form a shadow, alternative governance so that we have people that they are special in every field, in every sector, and we'll be able to unearth what is happening, in those spaces. Now the information that we have is that Okia Omtata petition has been rejected, and I think they will go back again on 10th. But I don't know, 10th supposed to be holiday. I don't know whether courts are operating. So, but the bottom line is it has been rejected. I am not a lawyer. I had requested if there is a lawyer here, we need to hear, from the point of law so that we know whether you can, take the same case to different courts. Because I think how judiciary operates is that when you have filed a case in a particular court, you cannot file the same in another court until the other court determine, that case or adjudicate to another court. And in another breaking news is that Okia Omtata and our comrade Casmuel, they now have taken another course that they want, to rally for civil disobedience, where Kenyans should stop paying the taxes, because we cannot be paying our taxes that we know they are going to be misused or going to benefit few individuals. So this is what is happening now. Okia Omtata has declared alongside Kasamuel that, they are going now to rally Kenyans to go what we call civil disobedience, which it is refused to pay the taxes. Okay, I see nothing. Your hand is up, and then I obey.
Just a minute, Fabish, and I think Daughter is the one who was talking, and I want to see this like, yeah, we've been having unity, but the problem is that we are not coordinating the way it should be coordinated. The moment we were pushing the hashtag for Free Morara, we joined our forces and we all went to one place. That's where we camped. We had one topic. If we decide today it's Reject SHA, let's help spread the word to the whole Twitter. Whoever wants to join us, let's all camp in one place. We keep pushing. That's how we're going to amplify this force, and our voices will be heard. And I want to urge Kenyans of goodwill, true patriots, let's support His Excellency or Honorable Okia Omtata. What he's about to do, I think it's gonna help Kenyans in a way. Yeah, even though he's going to tell people not to pay tax, it will be a mode of civic education, and also trying to help people understand the reasons why they will not be paying this tax. I think if we can't approach this thing in a judicial way or through the court or whatever, then we do other way that is almost the same but has impact on whatever we are tackling. I think it works, and I have full support personally on Okia Omtata and the rest. Whoever is for the cause, I support you. Let's not fight each other. Let's focus. Please, let's not lose focus. We have a lot to tackle as a country. We have SHA, we have Adani, we have this, we have that. Don't forget now, as we are talking, nobody's talking about justice for Bruce. It doesn't mean that it has never happened before. This is the only person who gained that courage to come ahead and talk it out. So guys, let's support him. Let's help him gain justice. I hope we could hold a space for a whole night trying to seek for justice for him. It will be so good. We have also another other comrades who have been abducted, have gone missing for long. Please, let's not assume them. They are one of us. We are brothers and sisters, guys. Let's try and hata kama ni kuhold space, kama leo ni justice for Bruce, we do that. Kama kesho ni like the MP Yusuf Yusuf Ahmud ama anaitwa aje, yeah, that nigga has been missing for more than almost 25 days now. Nobody's pushing that. Guys, please be your brother's keeper. Leo ni yeye, kesho ni mimi, kesho hiyo ingine ni KOT. Who will give a shout out to me if we don't check up on each other? Let's do that please. It wanna help. Imagine hata akitokea ata lose hope ya kukuja kuvoice like sauti ya watu, because kama yeye mwenyewe akipotea akijaribu kuvoice out sauti zenu, hakuna mtu anaenda ahead kumlilia, then what will he benefit from kukuja abdactiwe kila wakati akivoice sauti za watu, hata they don't mind about him. Mi sina mengi. Retweet the space. I'll be reading the comments in a few after the next two speakers.
Okay, yeah, nothing, go ahead. Then Ayabe. Then we go to Smart.
Thank you once more. I wanted to persuade everybody. I think we have to run different spaces like for agriculture, and that's why like Toria is asking why we are not amplifying the missing MPs issue and the Bruce's issue, is because we are tackling, there are so many issues. It's like we've been bombed with chaos, and if we don't structure ourselves to deal, different groups deal with different issues, and then once a week we come to the space and look at progress and we get educated, let me tell you, we will lose so much than we stand to gain. If say KOT runs with an issue, it does not mean that there's no unity with someone who's running with a petition. We just have to figure out a structure that eventually will work. Like there's a guy whose handle is Amchege. That guy tweets constantly about missing people, even if it's not from the movement, and I always retweet. But we have majority of people who have curated their handles. This time, I need people to understand we are at war, and the war to be won, we need a simple structure. As we can even have one space and say, Kina so and so are going to tackle those particular issues. I tend to think it's a prudent direction to take. If we don't, we will learn very late, because the issue is we learn and re-strategize. We fail and we figure out a better solution, so that if we know there's a team running with justice, like for Bruce, for the missing MP and so many other missing people, every day will purpose, even if this space is talking about SHA, they will purpose to highlight. That way, I think we will have a stronger team, because we will always be as weak as our weakest link. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And to emphasize on what Nothing is saying is that, yeah, we need to build ourselves and make ourselves a very strong team. Kindly make sure that when you're in a space, follow each other, so that, because when we build ourselves, at least we'll be able to monitor who is posting what, and then we'll be able to amplify, the voices. So please, when you're in a space, look your left, look your right. Yeah, let's follow each other. Follow the host, follow the co-host, follow the speakers, so that we have one, large family, and we'll be able always to have an easy way of sharing information. I think Jasiri, you are here before Smack and before Kochu. Jasiri, go ahead. Jasiri. Ilukasiri. Okay. Kochu, go ahead. Kochu. Okay, then Smack, as others are preparing the network. Smack. Hawa watu wako huku kweli? Toria, unanisikia? Then, okay, Sesko, go ahead.
Okay. Fabi, unanisikia ama unajua naona asisikii watu hapa.
Nakusikia.
Unanisikia?
Nakusikia.
Oh. So, so there's someone who was talking about mambo ya kesi ya koti and something. There's no system in Kenya that is actually working. The only option tumebaki nayo sahi, there's nothing about dialogue, because even those courts zimekuwa sabotaged. There's nothing that is working. There's no system that we're supposed to use. I'm wondering, people wanatoa wapi hizo options? Yes, ni poa, we are discussing about them, but when this thing should get into our heads, no system is going to work in Kenya. Hata tuende koti gani, hata hiyo Supreme Court, they are under someone. It's so frustrating Kenya, hata tuko na PDD huku sasa. Mambo ya Bruce hizo ni gani tunasikia sasa? It's so frustrating though. Na hiyo mambo yake itapigiliwa juu na story yake iishe. Because we all know how this thing is going to end. Because there are no systems that work in Kenya. The only thing I think can work is going to the streets. Unajua place imefika sahi, we cannot be ignoring the fact that hakuna system inawaka ati tuanze kusema tuende kwa lawyers mara nini. It's not going to help. I think going to the streets is going to bring some change. Unajua, kwenda kwa street inaleta visibility kwa vitu mingi sana. Inaleta attention, inataka attention hadi kwa hizi traditional media. Na hawa polisi makers wa kitambo hawa. It really helps. Iki-involve hivyo pressure inasaidia sana. Pia kwa public engagement itasaidia, tutamobilize sana communities na watu wengine, na public participation in some things itakuwa. Collection ya ideas na nini zitakuwa, but hii mambo ya koti tutasema wacha waende wasort. Pia watu tuwapea pressure. Hawa sana decision making hawa. When we go on the streets, we give them pressure. Hawakangi na amani. I wish ungeona hata venye walikonda time hizo nini. Tuko tunaenda streets, watu wanaenda streets na ni usiku, watu wanaimba huko. They don't have peace.
Yeah, okay. Kochu.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Coach Fabish, for giving me the opportunity. I'm Coach. Umse ametubombard na a lot of issues. Hata mimi hiyo story ya MP alipotea saa hizi ndio nimesikia. Jamaa atumia strategy inaitwa shock and awe. Bush alitumia ilikuwa Iraq, I think. Amekuwa kitu confuse hivyo mpaka tumekosa focus. Because imekuwa yani imetu overwhelm, iko too much. I think tunaweza reverse Kenya ametufanyia. Sisi tuko wengi. Wenye wamesema tupe structured, to bombard pia from every department. Hadi hao washangaya what the fuck is going on. I think hivyo ndio inafaa to deal na ujambazi. Because hivyo ndio amekuwa akitufanyia for the past like 2 months, I think. Yeah. I think hiyo ni yangu kwa leo pekee yake. Thank you guys.
Toria, you wanted to read the messages from the comments? Toria. Toria. Toria, unanisikia? Nothing, unanisikia? Okay, so it's like...
Obish, I can hear you, but I can't see Toraya on the space.
Okay.
I think she dropped.
Maybe she dropped.
Oh, she's on the listeners. Sorry.
Toria, kindly request again the mic. Then we go to Smack. Smack. Unajua what's happening in these spaces? Okay, go ahead, Smack. I can't hear Smack. Nothing unamsikia Smack?
No, I can't hear him.
Smack, if you can hear me, kindly drop and request the mic. You know, I've realized of late, whenever we are discussing, a very critical issue katika spaces, huwa inakuwa na a lot of issues. Government, they are overworking. Kama hii effort wangekuwa anatumikia kufanyia watu kazi, Kenya ingekuwa better country. But you see how petty they are. You know, they are just busy doing nonsense, attacking people on spaces, trying to hack people accounts. The whole government. Shame on them. What we need to do is let's kindly retweet the space. Let's post so that we can have as many participants as we can. Manake, this topic of today is very critical for our country. Before we realize hiyo payslip yako itakuwa imekatakatwa na hakuna kitu ya maana naenda kufanya. Teacher.
Hey, ni aje na habari zenyu?
Poa sana teacher, karibu.
Mimi niko fiti. Unajua leo nimekuwa shule na tulikuwa tunaongelea hii mambo ya SHA. Na tukadiscuss sana na nikakuja nikagundua hii mambo ya SHA ni revenue collection scheme. Yaani wameona sasa ni kama kwa NHIF system iwezi waruhusu wapate pesa yenye wanataka kupata. Sasa wameamua watoe hiyo NHIF, badala ya kuangalia NHIF kuirevisit watengeneze ikuwe vizuri, wakaamua kuleta SHA yenye ni policies zao zenye hata sisi wenyewe hatujui. Sasa hizi kuna msee hii mwezi kisha anaanza kunawa, anaanza kutoa akijiinvest. Unajua sasa sisi ndo tutaendelea kuumia. Alafu pia nimegundua, unajua nimejaribu kuingia kwa space ya KOT kutoka jana na imekuwa inanisumbua sana. Ndio saizi natumia VPN ndio naona inisumbui. Kuna VPN fiti sana inaitwa Siphon. Sijui kama mshaitumia Siphon. Ni VPN safi sana. Iko na VPN na pia kuna apps ukiconnect nayo unapata network free. Huwezi tumia Safaricom. Unakuwa connected internet. Shida tu ni itakunyima, huwezi ona trends zenye ziko Kenya, utaona trends zenye ziko worldwide. So nikipata time nitarudi kwa space baadaye, acha nifike kwa nyumba alafu ndawaonyesha. Tuachane na Safaricom, tuanze kutumia VPN, tuingie net free, alafu tu discuss vitu za maana, DCI tusumbue.
Shukran sana mwalimu. Lazima vile Nothing alikuwa amesema, we are at war. Na pia mi upenda kusema kila wakati, we have to understand that you are at war, and when you are at war, in any war, you know you must strategize. Ujue jinsi ya kupambana na your enemy. Ikifika mambo ya our networks ambao unajua kila wakati inakuwa attacked, if you can have a way to guard yourself like using that private networks, please do. Toria umerudi?
She's still on the listeners.
Okay, and on my side inaonyesha ako kwa speakers. Patrick, kindly unmute your mic.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, KOT, Toria, and Fabish for this great show. This issue of SHA, I think the Kenyan people have expressed themselves on what they want. The courts pronounce themselves. They declare the whole program unconstitutional. But then can I you guys give you some news? I don't know if you're aware of this news. That the NHIF had pending bills of around 30 billion that they owed to the hospitals, especially private hospitals. And one of the key demands of the private hospitals was that before they moved to the SHA or SHIF that they are calling it, they wanted the government to settle those 30 billion bills. Now, that is the bone of contention. Today I read a statement by the the Doctors Association Union, and they were saying this SHA is going to deny services to the Kenyan people. So that's the great challenge we are facing here. William Ruto wants to go down with 30 billion shillings. Why can't we? Because they were having a pending bills of 30 billion. Why didn't they address that issue of those 30 billion that they had not paid out? That was the fundamental issue with this NHIF issue. And that was the problem that they were supposed to cure. Why did we have the pending bills? Where did the money go? The whole issue was about corruption. So you cannot tell us that you want to address corruption by engaging in more corruption. That's not how to solve the issues. If NHIF was corrupt, now they are moving to another very corrupt platform called SHA. And now they're inviting in 104 billion for another system. Did you really need another system? There's a key thing that if things are working, you don't fix them. You just look at the loopholes and fix them. So that's the tragedy we are facing as a people. And I want to tell you this, my dear friends here, that all the policies that William Ruto has tried to initiate, it's akin to somebody trying to stitch an anus when somebody's having a diarrhea. Can that really work? That's what he's been doing. We had the Hustler Fund, you remember, he came up with the funding model. Now there's this issue of JK. Now we have this shift. Anything that he starts or initiates doesn't move. It doesn't work because his policies are not well thought out for the people. He's driving policies that are after enriching himself. And that's why most of his programs are failing. These are the key issues, my dear friends. We went to the streets over the issues of the finance bill. William Ruto has now marked us and he's looking for us and trying to abduct each and any one of us. And he has a secret location where he's taking people. When the Kitengela boys were released, they were saying they were held in a place where there are several other Kenyans who are held in those places. Now we don't know, maybe that was one place they were held. You don't know where the other places are. You saw what happened to Murara. It's just because we were vigilant here online and demonstrated and we followed those Subaru guys. If we had not done that, my friends, I tell you, Murara will not be nowhere. He'll be also among the missing person. I don't know what these guys will have done. This is a regime that is running scared. William Ruto lost legitimacy, has lost legitimacy. He has failed to govern. He's totally confused. He's just after enriching himself. And he's totally confused. You heard in Parliament yesterday one MP say that now because they're impeaching Rigathi, the president his security has to be enhanced. I can tell you, the best security as a president or anybody, if you're in any leadership,